Joining us today for the Thrive Thursday Everyone Has a Story Author Spotlight Series. Today, I am joined by Justin Tidd. He is Chapter 14 and Thrive Thursday Episode 11 guest. All right, Justin, I'm so excited to have you part of our project, and this has been such a ride and a journey. And I always like to start with each of the authors by asking them why you said yes to being part of this. Because back in around Thanksgiving of last year, I said, okay, it's time to figure out who's going to be part of this book project. And I can still remember it. It was the morning of Thanksgiving. And I emailed 60 people that were part of Thrive Thursday. And I gave everyone the opportunity to be part of this project. And out of 60, only 13 people, with you being one of them, said yes. So that got me thinking. One, I want to know why you said yes. And two, why do you think people don't say yes to opportunities in life?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on again, for sure. So I'm super humbled and excited to be part of this process. I really am. Yeah, why I said yes. I mean, I believe we all have a story, right? And so it's a matter of understanding what those stories look like, and can they change? How can they be different? And so I believe I have a unique story, maybe to myself, but it could probably adapt to other people. And just so people can get a little insight to see what I came from and what I've accomplished in life from where I've come from, and be able to share that with them, to say, hey, maybe it wasn't so great. And you can get out of the hole you're in. You can. All you got to do is plan, do some research, do the work. There's no substitute for work, right? Hard work is hard work. And so the reason I said yes is hopefully my story can inspire someone, and they want to move forward, do something different from the current position they're in.
Well, I 1000% agree with you. And I think it's vital that everyone shares their story, because not everyone will relate to me. Not everyone will relate to you. But out of one of those stories, everyone will feel some type of connection. And sometimes we don't even realize what that effect is going to be. Because a lot of times when someone is going through a difficulty, or someone is stuck somewhere, they're saying to themselves, nobody can understand how I feel. And I'll actually give you an example. I was interviewing another chapter person just yesterday, and this particular person experienced a lot of anxiety and depression in her life. And she said to me, I wanted to share a story because I want to tell people that I understand how they feel. And your situation, I mean, you came from adversity where you said, no, I'm not okay with, having my future self in this same situation. And I know I can change it. And you did something about it, right? Like you said, nothing can substitute hard work. You said, heck, if I'm healthy, right? If I'm a healthy mind and a healthy body, I can work and I can do something about this. And I kind of grew up the same way, so I can appreciate that. But we all have that story that is important. And maybe you're not going to affect 1 million people, maybe not, right? You might not affect it. But if you just affect one person out there,
I agree.
That is generations, because we know it's not just us. It's our children. It's a generation that's not born yet. It can change everything. And that's why we all need to share our story. And I'm so happy that you agreed and said yes. Okay. First question, Justin. Going along with that, all right, you did something about you wanted to have a different life. So that leads me to the first question. Do you think that we can vision a life that maybe we never experienced? Or like, can we change our perspective? Because I think sometimes people, and it's funny, I coach people sometimes and I'll say, give me your 5-year plan. And sometimes people can't even think of what they want 5 years from now to look like, because in their mind, they're like, well, I'm doing okay right now. Like, I don't even know what I would change. Sometimes you can't even see it because you've only been doing the same thing over and over. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think if you want change, you do have to seek it. And so maybe you're not in those situations, but, visualization is big for me. So, whether that's driving through a neighborhood or getting on the internet, looking at bigger homes or nicer vehicles, you can still visualize the change. And so, okay, I understand I need to get my life into this position before I can have those things. And so maybe you don't always see that, but if you visualize, to me, that allows you to see maybe what it could be like. And for me, without being in the circumstance, I think that is huge for me.
I love that, and I wanna go a little bit deeper on that. And it's funny, I'm trying to think what book I just read that spoke about that. And I remember reading one guy wrote, I was down on my luck, and someone told me to go buy a tuxedo. And he's like, why would I go buy a tuxedo? I'm down on my luck. Like, that's the last thing I would do. And he said, because the guys that are going to help you with that business that you're trying to build, they're all at those charity events, and you're going to need a tuxedo to attend them. So he went, like, with his last dollar, he went and bought a tuxedo, and he went and hung out at charity events. And all he did was network. He networked and networked, and he spoke to, because number one, you knew they were successful. Number two, you knew they were people that wanted to give back. They were people that wanted to help other people. And I was like, wow, who would ever have thought that would be a way? But he put himself in a situation that was completely different. And that really takes a mindset of visualizing and really strategically thinking on how to have that better life. So tell me, so I love the driving through the neighborhood. Give me some tactic of that with the visualizing.
Yeah, so I mean, it's as simple as knowing where you want to be and just driving through, looking to see what you like, right? What kind of houses? What are the size of the houses? Do they have boats? Are they on a lake? And taking that into consideration, and you can even do it. Just, you don't have to drive. Like, Google is so great anymore that you can pull it up and just go act like you're shopping and just. It almost is, it's a computer screen, you can't touch it, but almost you can visualize it and see it to where you understand what that is. I mean, change scares the hell out of all of us anyway. So understanding how to get somewhere else is different. It's scary. A lot of people have a lot of doubt. That's why a lot of people struggle with change and struggle doing something to get bigger and broader. But it's understanding some self-discipline and having a plan in place, taking the visualization and then applying that. Because if you put, like you said, 5 years and people don't have an idea what they're doing, you can cut that down into 1 year and then even smaller months of planning to be able to capture what you want to do. Accomplishment, have wins easy on a month-to-month basis, a year basis. And then you can build that 3-5 year plan out. And then maybe year 5 is where that visualization stands. And you say, okay, I'm here because I've worked 5 years to get here. It's never overnight. You hear all the people that have the overnight successes, and it's always 8-9 years of groundwork, working hard.
It is grinding,
Yeah.
right? So wait, we
Yeah.
got to go back because I didn't hear your answer to why do you think all those people said no to the opportunity? What causes people to hesitate when an opportunity is put before them?
Well, I kind of mentioned it just now, but I think it's two things. So one is change is scary. It's
Yeah.
super scary, and I think, and part of change with that comes along sacrifice. So to be able to get into certain places, okay, number one, I got to change. I don't know if I even know how to do that, but okay, let's say I have to learn to do that. Now I've got to do things differently in my life. Now I might have to sacrifice part of my life, my time. Maybe I can't spend as much time with my family. Maybe I've got to edge out, pull my budget back in to spend money differently. So I have to sacrifice my lifestyle. I have to sacrifice my time. And that to me, I think with a lot of people is scary. So it's easier not to put themselves out there and just stay in their comfort. People like comfort. Comfort's nice.
Listen, we're built as human beings to protect ourselves all the time from getting hurt, right? Whatever that hurt is, even if ultimately we grow and get something better, like you said, anytime you go through change, there is an opportunity that there could be hurt in one way or another, right? So I think we all try to kind of put that armor around us, but it's on the other side of change is where the great things happen. That's really where the magic happens. Wow, love it. Okay, so I love your saying from the first moment that you ever said it. It's ingrained in my brain that life happens for you, not to you. So please share with me how has that mindset served you in your life?
Yeah, I think, I believe, my chapter is going to mention a lot of this. But, as I've grown up and maybe grew up a little less than pretty poverty, I didn't understand, nor that I get it. I just knew people had more than me. But I've slowly learned from that and then getting into my 20s and then making some bad decisions in my 20s that had affected me, made things harder on me. Now I got through all of those. But with everything that happened, I would never have changed any of those things. And I always just brought myself back to that, to just know, like, this is happening for me. Because why is this happening to me? You hear people say that all the time when things happen. Like, I don't understand, like, why is this happening to me? And maybe it's not for us to understand. It's happening for you because this is going to grow you in different ways you didn't realize it's going to grow you. It's going to make you a better person, better experience in certain situations. And those things, that mindset has always gotten me to where I am today. And I still believe that is what happens to me now. And talk about, like, my anxieties way less. I don't get as frustrated. But yeah, little things that's just, I'll share one thing. It's like, I had a child when I was 21, trying to work in a night shift job, trying to go to college full time, trying to get a career started in sales. And I'm like, I was thinking about moving to another state, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm going to have a baby, totally unplanned. What do I do? And so, hey, it happened for me, because what if I moved to another state? Maybe my life could have been better. Maybe it could have been worse. But I don't know, because this is the path that I'm on. And I stayed. My daughter's now almost 17. I've got a beautiful family here. I ended up getting a job. I've been with this company 14 years. I've met other people through fitness. So it's like, if I could dwell on something happened to me, that could have led me in so many directions that I can't control. That I am where I am because of it. And I think that's how it always happens, is when life happens for you, it's always going to lead you to where you need to be.
Yeah, and that's why I do think it's a mindset, because that example
Yeah.
was perfect, right? Because if you sat there going, "Oh, why did this happen to me? That I had all these plans. I had it figured out. I was moving here and I was doing this, right? And that was my plan. And then oh, this happened to me." All of a sudden you're taking that situation and in your mind you're thinking this wasn't supposed to happen. But by you looking at everything as it happens for me, well, then you're kind of like, ah, look at that. I wouldn't have predicted that that would have happened, but here we are. Everything is great. It's got me here. And you can't live your life saying, what if, what if, what if, right? Because that's just what if. This is it. Whatever we have, we're here, we're blessed, we're enjoying this moment, and it happened for us. So I think it really is a mindset. I don't know, Justin, I can see the title of a book. I see the title of the book. It's a whole mindset. I see it, Justin. That's it right there. I love it. And really, even just, from the moment that you said that on Thrive Thursday, like no joke, I have repeated that over and over. And I literally say, Justin says, life that, it really is a mantra. Yeah. It's a mindset. Yeah. And once people let it go of nothing happened to me, this is my life. This happened for me. Right. This is the life that I've been given, and I'm going to live it to the fullest, whatever it is. All right. Final question. You've had lots of lessons that you've learned in your life, and maybe you're even going to say that that's your lesson, but maybe you'll come up with something different. I ask everyone as our closing question, what one piece of advice would you give to our audience based on something that you learned in your life?
Yeah, for me, it's I'm going to just kind of, I'll dial it back into something else to change it up for you. But when I was young, I remember watching a movie called Rudy. It was a true story, Notre Dame story, right?
Great movie.
And so I felt, I felt emotion to that movie. And I kind of, I take a stance on in my brain of like, when I go full into something, I go full into something. So when people say I'll do whatever it takes, then that means absolutely doing whatever it takes. And that's maybe you get less sleep, maybe you work longer, maybe you travel somewhere, buy a suit that you can't hardly afford to go to an event, knowing that you're going to break the bank. You got to put yourself in different situations to honestly do whatever it takes, mentally, financially, physically. Because what I've learned along the way on the flip side of that is I've also heard people that I've coached in fitness, I'll do whatever it takes, 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks into the meal plans, nutrition plans, they're off the wagon. And I'm like, what happened to whatever it takes, right? And then excuses happen. Yeah. Well, I've got kids and this and this. And I'm like, I've got 4 kids. I've got 2 side businesses. I have a career where I travel. Like, those are excuses. So if you really want this, if you really want something in your life and you are willing to do whatever it takes, get a plan and do whatever it takes. Just don't stop until you get it.
I love that.
It works every time.
It seems so simple, but I think you're right. I think it goes back to that comfort zone again, or it goes back to that protection of the minute we don't think we're going to be successful, I think our reptilian brain jumps in again and is like, radar, like mayday, we're not having success. So I know what I'll do. I've got kids. Oh, wait, the school year just popped up and now I can't follow it anymore. I was doing good in the summer. I can't do it now. Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden, like if we're having success, oh, it's easy. It's easy to keep, man, look, I'm buff. I'm got all this muscle. I'm feeling great. But the minute we start going to that failure side, that's where the excuses come from, right?
That's right.
So I think it all, like you said, I think almost when it's a life or death situation, and I know I could attribute my success of always trying to do something for someone else. It was easy for me to say, I want my kids to go to college debt free. Oh, nothing was stopping me. Nothing was stopping me because I was on a mission of my kids will not have student loans. Okay, easy. But I think that is like almost a way to trick our brain of, if you make it so there's no option for failure, right? You're not going to let your child down. You're not going to let your partner down. You're right. Because when you do that, there's no room for failure. You have to do it, right? But I love that advice. No, burn the boats, right? Burn the boats.
Yeah, create non-negotiables. That's it.
That is it. All right, Justin, you are awesome. I'm so thankful that you were part of this project. I love speaking to you every chance that I can get, and we wish you all the best. Not that you need, because you're going to be successful in whatever you do. Take care.
Thank you.